So today's discourse is being your authentic self and shining your true light as a way to serve God. And our past discourses were about service to God, and what does it mean to serve God. And this seed of service starts from within. So this, once we generate this love for what we're doing, is when we can truly start to step out to serve others. Especially, teachers, counselors, healers of all kinds, anybody, wherever we're working from, we have to clear our intent. Why are we doing this? And really know why we're doing it, where we're coming from, and accept it, accept who we truly are, and be okay with it, non-judgmental. And then, so we purify the self, we clear the self, and then we can start to step out into the world and truly share the love that we have, the light that we have. The old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So we might say, well, I'm going to do this good stuff, but then we haven't taken care of this vehicle that we're driving. So we might go in and go over another person's will, take away their karmic, something that they needed karmically to do. So it takes a lot of wisdom and discretion to give service, and we see a lot of people learn this as they age. So I know many people already have this wisdom to step back, or knowing when to step back and knowing when to step in. And this brings us to today's discourse, which is this act of God and the exuberant personality. When we are able to really become comfortable in who we are and really accept ourselves and be this unique individual, a lot of things can start to come up, especially if we're reprogramming who we are. Not who we are, but how we've been brought up. So there's certain cultural practices that have been passed down through generations. And one of them is, one of the most popular ones is children should be seen and not heard. So as children, there's a lot of different things that could be said to the child. Don't bother them, don't disrupt them. Other people we've heard people talk about, don't ask them for food. We're not going over there to eat. Don't ask them for food. There's all these different things. Don't touch anything. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And so a lot of people will essentially start to kind of shut down. And this is from childhood. So now we're adults, some of us are children or raising children. So we have the opportunity to heal from this and to reprogram ourselves and to look at where we're coming from. So the first thing we have to do is really accept who we are. And this is with courage, with great courage and bravery. And we're reminded of all the great spiritual leaders, guides, saints. They did not go around worrying what other people thought. They did not. Many of them were considered blasphemers. They raised eyebrows. People would be taken aback at the things they would say, or they would raise eyebrows, or they would say, "You don't know what you're talking about," or I think Krishna used to get scolded all the time. He was like, "No," but there was always love. But so they were blasphemers. They broke rules. They broke cultural rules, maybe not necessarily laws, but they broke norms. And they didn't do it for the shock value. It wasn't from a place of like, well, I'm going to see what you say when I do this. It wasn't like dishing it out, as they say. This norm breaking and this expression was from the Creator, coming through the light, in the light, an expression of God, a true expression of God. And shining from the soul. And people react to the light differently, and it's not our job to judge. Many of us who have been on the spiritual path, we know some of our greatest experiences and our greatest times that we learned were not easy for us. Somebody said something that, hit you and made you redo your whole belief system, or made you adjust your belief system, or adjust your thinking, or question yourself or what you're doing. It's not easy all the time. It's not, that's part of the light getting in. Sometimes the light kind of breaks in, and it's through other people, experiences, places, our environment, our pets. These teachers, these wisdom teachers, came with their own unique personality and individuality, their own expression, their way of expressing. And they had to be fearless, and that doesn't mean that they came in fearless. Many people say, they had to go through their process to get where they could be, so that they could really express themselves. And we're not saying that we have to be like great spiritual teachers or famous or anything, like that. It's just the gift of becoming who we are. The gift of becoming who we are, and love. So one of the things that we've been asked to talk about is how people in relationships can repress anger through demeaning themselves. How people can repress anger in relationships. So first, think about your relationships. Our relationships. There are multiple relationships that we have. We have environmental relationships. We have human family relationships, friends relationships, relationships with the television, maybe, you know, all these different relationships. They might be one-sided in a way, or all these different expressions of relationships in our lives. Relationships with our pets, relationships with the plants, or with, if you know, many people have relationships with crystals, relationship with your church, relationship with, you know, there's so many different kinds of relationships. And we see this, all this is another like cultural norm where we demean ourselves. So demeaning is we demean ourselves, meaning we take ourselves and we make ourselves less than the other. We condemn ourselves. We say, oh, I can't do that. And I know, for example, the chanting, you know, this, which I know was not in the broadcast, but demeaning, like, well, I can't sing. That's not true. I can sing. So how these, and it's done in joking, it's done in a way to try and get out of certain pressures in a relationship. So, well, I can't do that, or I'm not that good at that, or I don't know how to do that, or the kids will say, like, I suck at this. That's what they say. You know, like, how do we dull our light because of our fear of what other people think? How do we take away our own soul shine, our own personality, our own beautiful self, our own unique expression of God, using the words? And some people don't use words, they just think it, to hide our light and who we are. And I know this is like a tough topic, but abuse, that's what abusive relationships are. One person has the power and the other person starts to give up their power, and it's a two-sided thing. It's not just one person abusing, it's them allowing their power to be, and yes, there's different reasons for that, but we're in the present moment, we're in the now. So now we can look at, what relationships do I have that I give up my power, that I give up my own integrity, my own respectability. And a lot of this can be the repressed anger, like, I'm so mad at you, I'm mad at you, I'm mad at myself for giving up my integrity, giving up who I am. So it's very exciting when everybody starts, you know, saying, okay, I don't want to be angry. I feel a little angry. I can clear this. But then watching what we say to ourselves in these relationships, how we put our own selves down, when in reality, we are co-creators. What are we creating? We're creating that. So the first thing is just the awareness of really who we are. And this is why we practice meditation and our spiritual practices. We go within and we realize, wow, we're this beautiful shining star. We're all stars. We are all light. And we all have the capacity to shine, and we shine no matter what. So we banish the fear and doubt of who we are, how we're supposed to be, the judgment, and of, oh my gosh, what are other people going to think? If the great masters thought that, I better not say that because I'm going to offend people. We wouldn't be where we are today, which we do have a lot of teachings to use for our own spiritual growth. If they had said, no, that's going to hurt the priest's feelings, and I respect the law, the religious law, we wouldn't be where we are today. And it's not that we retaliate again, it's that we do it out of love. We take action out of love. And we'll just say, too, if you're not sure about the demeaning aspect of our lives and the relationships we have, one way to use a mirror to notice this is to see, who are we demeaning to in our own lives? Who do we demean? And it might not be someone close to you. It might be someone on the internet or on the TV or anywhere. Where do we find ourselves demeaning others, gossiping, putting other people down, not respecting the being as a human being, as part of humanity, as part of the whole? That we take the initiative to judge and say horrible things about another person. We can pretty much guarantee you that outside is a reflection of the inside. If you're doing it outwardly, it's happening in here. And that's our relationship with ourself that we heal. So it's just look around, check it out, what how we're doing, check out what we say about other people, and then imagine if we were saying that to yourself. Because most likely, if you're putting it out, it's hitting here first, just like our service and our love to humanity. Once we are confident in who we are, in our love, in our passion, and working with children or helping prisoners, whatever type of work you do, helping people on the spiritual path, being a spiritual teacher, oh my goodness, taking care of us as taking care of each other in love. That is the greatest of all. So on this Sunday, as our service to humanity, to be gentle with ourselves. And, if we say, we're gossiping and saying bad things about somebody else, we can stop and say, okay, what do I need to look at that's causing this in myself? That I need to spew this, what is coming out, it's not what goes in that defiles us, but it's what comes out. It's what comes out. So allow yourself to shine. Don't worry about what other people think. Be gentle on yourself. As we learn how to move in our true selves, sometimes we go off balance. Use the discretion and find your balance and be gentle on ourselves. We be gentle on ourselves and others. We have to be, because we're breaking this cycle. And notice when we demean ourselves and when we demean others. Clear away any anger. Don't store it up, let it flow. Let the energy flow, let the feelings flow. And the meditating, all the spiritual practices help us to balance in this love and expression of great light. So please prepare for deep level meditation. We'll be doing the Rainbow Bridge meditation